If you're watching this, you're a grad student in the MBA program at Whitewater. That tells me a little something about you. You're obviously ambitious, perhaps even driven. And you're also likely time poor. Your time is divided between grad school, a job, and maybe a family. With a schedule like that, it's hard not to get stressed out. I also know you're smart enough to know you need to reduce that stress if you're going to stay healthy and effective. It's what Covey calls sharpening the saw in his classic Seven Habits. Too long without sharpening the saw, and we become dull, ineffectual, and we have to work harder to get the same amount of work done. There are a lot of great ways to sharpen the saw. For some, it's exercise. For some, it's more spiritual work like yoga or meditation. Still others enjoy pleasure reading and getting together with friends. Anything that recharges your batteries, even temporarily, is good and necessary. Hobbies are a great way of sharpening the saw. A recent study published in the Journal of Occupational and Organizational Psychology found people who regularly engage in hobbies actually perform better at work. A hobby could be anything from gardening to golf to playing a musical instrument, as long as it brings you pleasure and takes your mind off work. What if I told you I had the perfect hobby for anyone and everyone? One that requires only a modest investment in equipment, a limited amount of space, in fact your backyard would be just fine, takes just a few minutes to learn but a lifetime to master, and it's great for reducing stress. Are you interested? The perfect hobby, in my opinion, is archery. I took up archery nearly 35 years ago, and it is one of the only hobbies I've stuck with that long. In that time, I've shot literally tens of thousands of arrows. This is a photo my wife took of me practicing in our backyard a couple of years ago. Why is archery the perfect hobby? For starters, it's relatively inexpensive to get started. A basic bow, arrows, a quiver, and a basic target for your backyard can be obtained for just a few $100s. I realize that's not cheap, but compare it to a set of golf clubs, a gym membership, or a musical instrument and a few lessons. Archery is inherently easy to learn, though very difficult to master, which is a big part of its appeal to me. If it was easy to master, we'd get bored with it before long. Learning the basics is as easy as watching a few videos on YouTube and flinging some arrows. This is an art best learned by doing. The practice of archery addresses all aspects of your wellness. There is the physical act of drawing a bow that builds strength in your upper body, the mental focus required to shoot an arrow accurately, and of course the joy and supreme confidence received every time your arrow hits the bullseye. There is even a spiritual component to archery, much like yoga or the martial arts. Shooting arrow after arrow consistently into a bullseye requires a relaxed concentration of the mind that must be developed over extensive practice. Mastery of the mind is the focus of Japanese Kyoto archery. Another great thing about archery is that it offers something for everyone. For those with a competitive streak, there are archery shoots in virtually every part of the country and almost year-round. From Olympic-style archery shooting at a bullseye to outdoor 3D animal targets, there is likely a competition that would fit your interest. For those who are more outdoor-minded and enjoy time in the woods, you may enjoy roving or stump shooting, where natural targets like this stump are chosen randomly throughout the forest. The archer whose arrow is closest to the center selects the next target. If you're a hunter, hunting with archery equipment not only tests your shooting expertise, but also the woodsmanship, stalking, and tracking skills needed to get close enough to your quarry for an accurate shot. And the time spent in the great outdoors in the fall is an added bonus. Or maybe you just want to shoot a few arrows in your backyard range to take your mind off the stresses of work. This is a great way to spend an afternoon. All it takes is 50 feet and a safe backstop. As an undergrad, I used to practice archery shooting a target in the closet of my apartment. You don't need to be overly athletic or coordinated to shoot a bow and arrow. Archers come in all shapes and sizes, and some archers shoot amazingly well, even with physical disabilities. All it takes is a willingness to try and some practice. Archery isn't age dependent either. You can shoot a bow as long as you can pull one back. Whether you're 3 or 83, it doesn't take a lot of strength, only desire. Archery truly is a lifetime sport. This elderly gentleman is 92 years old and still shooting strong. So, you ask, how do I start? Well, I suggest you contact a local archery shop or club. There are always helpful people who are happy to let you try some equipment and give you some pointers on getting started shooting. Most archers enjoy sharing their sport and give of their time freely. Next, get yourself some equipment. It need not be expensive, and many bows today have adjustable draw weight so the bow can grow with you as you get stronger. The most important thing to remember is to get a bow and arrows that fit you. An archery pro shop or experienced friend can help with this. Then get some basic shooting instruction either from a book, a YouTube video, or an expert at the local range, and you are ready to go. Get out there and practice, and don't worry too much about where your arrows are going at first. Most of all, just have fun. Convinced? Trust me. Try archery as a way to sharpen your saw and reduce stress. The first time you draw your bow back, release the perfect arrow and watch as it completely centers the bullseye. All of your cares and worries will fade away. Thanks for listening.